Okay, welcome into week one of our Elite Machine training. Okay, today is going to be all about preparing for your business. So I'm going to be speaking directly to you guys that are brand new to building a doTERRA business. Okay, some of you that have been around for a little while that have maybe been building your business, maybe on and off, or you've been, around for a little while, but you really notice that you need to hone in on a few things to really perfect certain areas of your business and the skill set needed to build this business. That's totally fine. This is awesome that you're taking part. Feel free to stick around and take what you need from this training. Okay. There's always more to learn. And as every time that I teach these trainings, I myself learn a ton as well. So today we're going to talk about preparing. Okay. So number one, I'm going to take you through a bunch of my stuff. Okay. So we're going to talk about sample supplies that I would suggest locating. We're going to talk about welcome packages and how you can be like so creative there. We're going to talk about networking, brainstorming, those sorts of things, connecting and contacting. And then I'm going to give you some calls to action. Okay. Some action points that you can do moving forward after this. Okay. So number one, let's talk about sample supplies. And those of you on live as well, like specifically Patty has, her own form of welcome packages, as do most of you watching the replay that have been around for a little while, right? So I'm just going to share what I personally do. And I'd love for, Patty, if you have anything to add, or any of you guys watching on the replay, if you would add in the comments, wherever you're watching this video, add in the comments what you have in your welcome packages, or if you have any extras to add. Okay. So number one, let's talk about. Oh, okay. I mean, sample supplies. How's my?
Okay. Here we go. We're all right. Okay. 1 second here.
Okay, that should be better. There we go. Okay, so sample supplies are what you're going to need when you're offering a sample or a try, like for someone to try the oils. Okay. And we all know that sampling our oils is a really good idea. If we have someone who, is a little bit skeptical of essential oils, I'm sure we've all dealt with or met someone like that, right? They're like, I don't really know. And like asking them to make an investment to their health, for their health might be a little bit, unless they've tried them, then they'll see them work and then they'll be more willing to make the investment. You know what I mean? So asking or giving samples is a really good idea. There's some guidelines though. Okay. We have to be really good at following up, and we're going to talk all about that next week. If you want to, we're going to talk all about following up next week, but if you want to jump ahead, you can listen to the daily mentor calls number 1 to 5. Okay, so that's for this week, and it leads into inviting and the follow-up process. Okay, so let's talk about specific supplies here. So number one, you're going to need some sample drams, we call them. Okay, drams are little tiny bottles. These ones I have right here are 1 ml. Okay, they're like 1 ml. I think they're 1 ml, but I'm pretty sure they're 1 ml. They're super cute, super small. Okay. These are a little bit not hard to source. You can probably find them on Amazon. I used to get mine through a guy in Vancouver. Okay. And so I can find his group and link it in the comments here once I load this into the Elite Machine group. And you can potentially get a bag like this with 100 of them for 20 bucks Canadian through him. Okay. If you're in Canada. If you say are in another country and you have someone coming down to visit you, last year when my mom came, I was like, hey mom, so you're bringing me like 6 bags of these and like all the other stuff that I need. That's a little tricky right now, but I can find them, Jonah, on Wish. You know that Wish site? It's kind of like Amazon-y, but it's like super cheap, kind of crappy stuff. More or less, I don't even know, but you can find them on Wish, and that's available in Costa Rica. So I assume in Mexico as well. I feel like Mexico might be a little bit easier to get some things. But you can also order these ones through doTERRA. Okay, so the thing is though, is that when we're sampling someone, we only generally give about 15 drops of oil. Okay, because we don't want to like provide them with the whole month's supply. we want to give them a sample, a legit sample, enough for like a few days or maybe a week, depending on how much they use it, right? We want to help them have a result. And so you can do this one too, but when you only put 15 drops, it looks like there's like nothing in the bottle. So anyway, you do what you need to do. But these are two options for sure. So number one, you're going to need some sample drams, something to put your oils in when you're giving them to people, because you don't want to just be like giving your bottles to them and saying like, you know, trusting that they're not going to use 40 drops in their diffuser or whatever it is, right? As newbies kind of do sometimes. Another idea is that when you do have empty bottles, you can keep them and you can add in a little bit of oil in the bottom, right? And like add in specific to what that oil is, you know what I mean? So if you had peppermint and you're sampling peppermint, you can do that with the bottle. That's cool because they can read the bottle, they get to feel it and all the things, right? So those are two options for samples. I have one more here that I really like is, again, I got these through that guy in Vancouver. This is something that I really, really like. And I know that some of you guys all also have these, but they're little mini drams with a little mini roller top. Okay. So the roller tops are great because when you're sampling someone for a child or for, you know, something that needs dilution and they don't necessarily have the means to dilute, or you just want to keep it really simple, you're like, okay, here you go. It's ready to roll on. It's diluted and there's a lot less oil in here. So we do not add 15 drops in here. We don't add 15. I only usually add around 5 because that's the dilution for a roller blend, right? And so those are really vital as well if you can find those. I think they're 2 ml, just like the size that doTERRA has. Okay. Next, we have, so those are the sample drams. What I also like to give when I sample someone is a little booklet. Okay, I gave them some sort of a book so that they can read through, you know, if you gave them okay, so we're going to talk all about scripting. We're going to talk about follow-up next week, all the things. This today, we're just talking about supplies and preparing for the things, okay? So in here, you know, when you give this to them, they can actually sit down and they're like, holy cow, oils can be used for like all of these things, right? Like they get like, it starts to like get them thinking. And often when you follow up with them, they'll say, I had no idea that oils did, you know, they helped with your immune system or hypothyroidism or indigestion and all these things, right? It gets them thinking. So these books, there's so many different variations. Most oil supply stores have them. So you're going to look at Aromatools, you can look at Oil Life. In Mexico, this one's the A to Z guide. You can get them at, when is the Mexican convention? I want to go. I think it's in November, potentially. I really want to go, and you can buy things like this there. Okay. So planning on going, and you can definitely find these there, but just a Google search of like, even just like Aromatools Mexico or like something like that, you should be able to find something like this. But in Canada, we do like Aromatools Canada, or we do Oil Life. Patty, where do you get yours? My Essential Business.
So I actually get mine from Oil Culture Labels. So they have like an entire business kit that you can get. So it comes with like all of your little teeny tiny stickers for your dram bottles. You can get a bunch of the, you know, those little A to Z books. And they're awesome. Their service is great and fast shipping. So that's if you're in Canada. I don't know if they ship around the world, but yeah, Oil Culture Labels, they're awesome.
I love them too. And she's actually a diamond on Team Glow, and she's like a small business owner. She's great. Well, we're going to talk about her labels in a little bit, actually, because I love the labels that she provides too. And I think like as you guys, your teams start to grow, you can actually get her to send out like, you know, if you have someone want to draw or something, I work directly with her and I'm like, hey, can you add in a congratulation card and like, you know, or like rank advancement cards, things like that. She does those too. So don't be afraid.
Awesome.
Yeah, communicate with her, send her an email. It takes her a couple days to get back, but she's all good.
Yeah.
And yeah, she does ship
Awesome.
worldwide. She does ship worldwide. I have not got her to send anything here yet. I feel like it would take a while, but yeah, that's oilculturelabels.com. She's great. Thanks, Patty. And I really love when things are like already packaged, right? It's already like a little bit of everything you need. That's awesome.
Yeah, the last time that I ordered something, it came with like, I think 100 books and so many labels, like big labels for things like for my DIYs, and then a bunch of the like sample dram labels. And I think it was called like business in a box or something like that. And it was on sale. It was a crazy good price. And yeah, it was perfect. It was a whole little kit.
Cool. That's awesome. Oil Culture Labels does, or Oil Culture, Oil Life does that as well. They're a US company. They have some amazing things too. I think it's great. Ideally in the future, doTERRA will have a welcome package that we can add on or like send out to people, even a customizable welcome package. But I do want to say, like, as we move into welcome packages here, this is your opportunity to be super creative. Right? It's your opportunity to fit in like your own unique stuff, your gifts, your other services, right? If you are an esthetician or whatever, you could even add on, 20% off your next manicure or your pedicure, whatever you want to do if they're local to you, right? Patty loves DIYs. Like maybe Patty has a little addition to, when you get your oils, we sit down and we do a DIY to your choice together, free of charge or something like that. You know what I mean? Patty, if you want to share what you do for welcome packages and what you do offer.
So what I typically do is like I have some samples of the deep blue. So I'll throw in a sample of the deep blue, throw in like an On Guard toothpaste sample, give them a few empty roller balls. One thing that I think I'm going to start doing for the fall is I made these little, so it's just a little sample dram, and it's got turmeric, ginger, and cinnamon in it. And then there's directions on how to make your own turmeric latte. So all they have to do is just warm up a mug of milk and add a little bit of salt and pepper, and they've got their latte. So I'm going to start putting those in there too.
That's amazing. I love it.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, super simple. And then if I haven't already given them the welcome package, or not the welcome package, the little booklet, which normally I would have, but I would give it to them at this point, and then make sure to set up, to have a wellness consult with them, and then actually make some different rollers with them, according to whatever they need. To be honest, I hadn't thought about doing a DIY with them once they get enrolled. So I think that that's something that I'm going to start doing. So thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I totally agree. And I think that most of the things that you do, that's kind of what I do as well. The reason, here, let's go through the welcome package in a little bit more detail first, and then we can talk about like what happens after that, which is another thing we're really going to go in depth in a couple weeks here. Okay, so what happens after they enroll and things like that. So this is what my welcome package looks like. Is my volume, is my internet done? Okay. So we're going to go into what's actually like what happens after someone enrolls, what is a wellness consult and things like that in a couple weeks. But again, if you want to get a head start and you're like ready there now, go to the daily mentor calls and listen to as many as you want, and do the tasks that she gives you. Okay. And so welcome packages, this is what, if I'm at a class, like an in-person workshop, and the girls hand me their paper, right? I am like, here's your welcome package. And I've already shown them what's in it at a class. I already show them, this is what you can get from me for getting your oils today or something like that. Or when you get your oils, this is what you get from me. Okay. And so I give them in this little bag. This is not really relevant to you guys in Canada because you guys got new shampoo, right? Canada and the US, we used to have these awesome like samples of the conditioner and the shampoo. And here in Costa Rica, we still have the regular shampoo and conditioner, Mexico as well. But these I only can get from the US. And so I don't know if you can get these in Mexico either, but this is just an extra. Okay. I really like to have them. And I got someone to bring them down for me because here, again, it's hard to find like nice quality stuff that doesn't have fragrance. Okay. And so I have a shampoo and conditioner. I have a deep blue rub. This is like the muscle rub, the sore muscle rub. It's amazing. I think you can get these in Mexico. In Costa Rica, I'm not actually certain. I don't know. I don't think so. Toothpaste samples you can get in all markets, I think. Toothpaste samples are something that's great. It's the old formula. So those of you in Canada and the States, I don't know if they've upgraded these yet to the new formula. Like Patty mentioned, I add in a couple empty rollers. And like I think I mentioned to you guys before, I always get my rollers through doTERRA, okay? Because they are the really nice ones. They roll great. The oil comes out evenly. It's really, really nice. I give them a couple of those in their welcome package. And I give them, again, this is us being a little bit creative. My kids love to make bracelets, especially Sequoia. And so I'll get her, she sits down and makes me a ton of bracelets, and it has lava beads on it. And gemstones, and we make them all different. And then the person gets to choose their own bracelet.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's a little, just a little extra, right? And then I give them, if I have any of these on hand, these are another handy thing to put in there as well, is an oil tool. You can get these, this is a metal one, but you can get plastic ones that are cheaper. You can get these through doTERRA in most markets. But what this does is it helps them to take the lids off their sample drams and the lids off of their roller bottles and put the lids back on. It's not necessary because you can kind of shimmy the lid off, like this part. You can kind of just squeeze it off, but this makes it a lot easier, okay? And so there's one of those. And then I also do add in a keychain. This is another just my personal thing, because I feel like people need the keychain, and especially who I speak to and teach to, they're travelers or they're expats, whatever, they want one of these. Okay, so these are available in most markets as well. It's a little keychain that it comes with 8 drams inside. Okay, and they are the 2 mil size. They're the bigger ones. And so you can, if you want to, what I do generally, if I have extra of those little mini rollers and it's for someone with kids or something, I'll actually swap out 4 of them for 4 rollers for them so that they can really use it well. And then they'll carry their oils with them everywhere. It's great. And then I add in a couple, what's it called? Labels. Okay, so labels from Oil Culture Labels. They have totally a bunch of different ones, but that's just what I add in, and a spray bottle. Okay, this is also from doTERRA. It's plastic, but it's handy. You can still make bug spray. You can make a pillow spray. You can make whatever. So if you're somebody who loves to make DIYs, then that would be awesome, because yeah, you could make one roller with them, but you could also say, if they wanted to get a chemical out of their house, like a cleaner, you could, make sure that you use their oils at the consultation. I use their oils, but also I bring a couple that they don't have. Okay, we're going to get all into this in the future here, but I bring some that they don't have so that they can try them. And also they're starting to build their LRP, right? They're starting to build their wish list of what they want. Okay. Questions on the welcome package. You guys, I want you to work with what you have and where you're at. Okay, so don't go out of pocket for a welcome package. Ideally, that fast start bonus that you get from that enrollment, ideally that is being reinvested into your business through the form of a welcome package. Okay, so in the beginning though, man, we lived off fast start, right? And it's a thing, and that's okay. But ideally, that's what's happening, is that some of your welcome package goes back into some of your fast start goes back into their welcome package. Okay. Anything else?
So I just have a quick question. So with the keychains, can you buy them separately, individually? Because I got the class in the box. Just one second, and I got 2 in there. But can you just buy them individually on their own?
Yeah, you can. It should be under the accessories tab.
Okay.
You can also buy them through Aroma Tools and sites like that. But I think doTERRA's quality is just unmatched, and they have the nice proper doTERRA label and logo and things like that. So you can find them elsewhere. You just do what you need to do with your budget and everything like that, right?
For sure. Okay. Cool.
Something else some people do is they add in some sort of a resource book with a bigger package. So say you have like, you know, for the, I hate the names. They're all changing the names right now. The Healthy Start, which is like the 5 ml bottles, the 10 of them with the little diffuser, say that's like your welcome package for that package, okay, whatever. But then you're like, and the Healthy Essentials, you get a little resource book from me. You know what I mean? I would even do like the next size up from that. They get a resource book. Just do some math and know that, you know your numbers and know what you're making from that collection that they start with, and see if you have a little bit to play with. Okay. And so again, these, you can get them through most oil supply stores, and Convention is going to have a ton as well. A lot of, because Convention is this week, a lot of our stores like Oil Life, Aroma Tools, they're going to have sales. Okay, so now if you have a little bit of extra money to play with, it's a good idea to buy a bunch of them to have them for the future. Okay, it's always a good idea to have resource books. It's a great incentive. It's a great LRP gift, right? Some people also do, like on the wellness consult, they'll bring the resource book and they'll say like, you know, switch it into your own words, but when they set up their LRP or they start up their monthly order, you actually gift them a resource book, something like that. Okay. Okay. Any questions on welcome packages and sample supplies?
Not a question, but again, I just want to throw something in there. So I actually just got a catalog in my inbox today it was from Oil Culture Labels, but it's the Convention catalog with all of the things that you were just talking about, like all of the special offers. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put it in the Supernatural group, so that way everybody can see it and take advantage of any promotions.
Sure, that'd be awesome. We should do that for anything awesome that we see this week. Put it in there. Put it in there. We all can benefit. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so how can we create welcome packages for people who enroll online? So that's a good question. That's a really good question, because I have an assistant in Canada, right? I have someone who works for me in Canada who does my welcome packages for anyone who enrolls in Canada or the US, or say in Europe. She'll send something to there if I need. But what I try to do, what I have done in the past, and I know like there needs to be another answer, right? There needs to be another answer to be able to order a welcome package through doTERRA for those international people, right? If we have someone who enrolls in New Zealand, like how the hell am I supposed to get a welcome package there? So what I do instead, and have done in the past, I don't love it, and it's a little bit pricier, but I actually, because we can order through any market in the world, right? Any doTERRA market. We just need to be able to, they need to be able to speak English, like on the phone, the market warehouse person, most of them can, but we need to find the phone number. So say I've done this before where I had a girl in Europe, right? And I had to send her something. It was actually an intro trio. So I called the warehouse closest to her and was like, hi, this is my name. This is my ID number. I would like to order a intro trio to this address in the UK. And so I could order it right through doTERRA there. Okay. Saying that about welcome packages, this is what I've done, is that I've actually purchased, you can buy like a bag of sample drams. I think there's like, I don't know, I want to say like 10 in there, maybe 10 or maybe 20. So I purchased a bag of sample drams, and I purchased a bag of rollers, which is there's 6 in there. I purchased like a wild orange or something, and I sent that to her, and I was like, there you go. It's something, you know. It's not ideal, right? And I could also, there's also like 3 packs of these things. Okay, so what you want to do is like, what country are you targeting, right? What country are you going to be enrolling people through primarily? Because if you're running Facebook ads, if you're doing your email marketing and your automation, like you're knowing who you're speaking to, right? I would probably say, you know, in the beginning, stick to Canada. And then if you have someone in Canada who you know and trust, and who would be open to being like your welcome package person, that's a thing, right? That could be a thing too. Like I've basically, like Nadine's got a whole like you know, whole like little section or like little package of my things. She's got a bunch of oils. She's got all of my welcome package stuff. And anytime I send out like a package to anyone on my team or anything, it goes from Nadine, and she writes out my messages and everything. Okay, that's a really good question though. So for people who enroll online, like, oh, another thing I do actually is like, say someone, because in Europe we've got some customers. So if someone wins a prize, like I'm not going to get Nadine to send something out. It's going to take 4 years. It might not even get there. But what I'm going to do is what I have done is I actually go through like, I Google what is a oil supply store in their country, right? So I don't even know if this is the one. It wasn't, but for example, Aroma Tools Europe or something, or Oil Life Europe. And then I go on their website and I go through and I choose what I want to order for them, and I send it to them through that, you know, the companies in their country. So that's another option, is that like Aroma Tools and things, they sometimes have like welcome packages that I think like Patty was talking about the Business Builder collection. You can actually order like a welcome package for a customer and send it through that store directly to them. Okay, so I mean, it's just finding one that's in your price range and then with the things that you desire. But I think a lot of companies do have those now. Okay, cool, good question. Okay, so let's move on. So we've got our sample supplies, we've got our welcome packages, and I want you guys to really, like, the point of this is for you to actually do this now. Okay, so the best you can, what I want you to do after you finish watching this is to do your research, find out where you can get sample drams, start to collect your stuff together, to start to prepare, okay? Preparing for this next 8 weeks together, because if you want to reach elite, you're going to need to enroll some people, okay? We're gonna teach you all about how to enroll the people, but this is specifically something that you need to prepare now, okay? There's also something energetically, I feel like, that happens when we know what happens after someone enrolls, right? Like they go into the library, they receive a welcome email directly from myself. You book a wellness consultation with them, things like that. When you know how to connect them into point A to point B, take them where they need to go, and you know like what is in a welcome package and how to send it out and things like that, I feel like that's when the universe is like, okay, she's ready to receive. I don't know if anyone else has ever felt that, but I definitely have. And when, say, you go into a class or a workshop or you're teaching something, I like to prepare. I always have the welcome packages prepared. If it's in person, I actually bring like this little basket with me, and I have like my welcome packages in there for people that are going to get started at that class, right? And so that kind of like sets it up energetically that I'm like, okay, I'm ready to receive these people. Okay, so that's the number one call to action, is get your supplies together, get all ready, best you can, right? If your budget is super tight right now, that's totally fine to just get what you can together, okay? You don't need to have a full-on welcome package like that. A lot of people don't have the keychain in there because they use the keychain as a tool to book classes from classes, okay? I use something else, and we're going to talk all about that. I told you guys the other day, these cute like reusable doTERRA bags, but Bailey King, the one that I dropped that script, I'm going to put it in the group actually in the Elite Machine. She uses like a bag of all different things. Okay. Host script. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about connecting and beginning to think of who we're going to be teaching, right? So ideally what you're doing now is you are writing out who is your ideal customer, right? If you have not done that, or maybe even if you've been around a while, it's a really fun exercise to do again, because the person you're attracting now is not, yeah, no worries, Patty, have an awesome day. The person you're attracting now is potentially not the person you were maybe, whatever, 6 months ago. Okay, so I want you to write down, who are you attracting now as a customer? Who are you speaking directly to? Get really specific. What is her age? What does she look like? Where does she hang out? Like some people are like naming the person, or even if, like I think Ashley mentioned this last time, is that she's, if you're on Instagram and you find someone that just fits your ideal avatar, it's called, or your person, right? Then maybe you're looking at like, taking kind of points from her and speaking directly to her. And so every time you're teaching or you're educating, whatever it is, you're speaking directly to that person. Okay, you're envisioning that you're speaking her language and she's listening to you. Okay, because if we try to speak to everybody, we're literally speaking to nobody and we're wasting our time. Okay, so do that with your customers and then do it with your your partners. Okay, so who do you want to work with? Who, write out all the logistics, all the things. I'm going to put up an exercise in the Elite Machine group later today, but kind of just like, it's like a PDF with like the questions of like, what's her age? What is her income bracket? Like, where does she hang out? Where does she live? What does she like to do? Those sorts of things. Okay, and so you're doing that as well because again, you're speaking directly to that person. Okay, so most people come into this business as a customer first because our oils are amazing, and it's a lifestyle that we need to fully embody before we can properly share it. So those of you that have come as a customer but maybe transitioned into a business builder maybe prematurely, you're maybe feeling that you're like, I just don't know enough about oils, or like I need to like learn more about the oils themselves. It's not impossible to learn both at the same time, right? You're here learning the business side and you're learning the oils. It's lots of on the job training, but majority of people will start as a customer, maybe hang out, use their oils for a few months, and then they're sharing like crazy. They've already got people like lined up that want their own oils. They want you to come and teach a class for them, things like that, okay? And so really hone in on who you are educating and what you're educating on, and not necessarily like, if you've never had kids before, for example, and you want to educate on kids health and using oils with kids, maybe dial it into something that you personally have like so much knowledge on, right? Like so much personal knowledge. So whatever your personal passions, interests, and what you want to learn about for oils, follow that. Okay, follow that first. And because you're going to be more passionate when you're sharing it, but you're going to be like sharing from your heart and from your personal experience. So that makes a big difference. Okay, I'm not saying, use that opportunity to educate yourself, right? Challenge yourself for sure, but come back to like, does this light me up? Is this really what I want to be talking about? Or is this just what I'm talking about because Jocelyn talks about it and I feel like I need to be, right? So listen to your own self first, okay? And so after you've done those two, like journaling, writing out who is your customer, who is your business partner, I want you to then get another list, and I want you to start writing out people who you would love to connect to and help them, whatever you want to say, help them live a better lifestyle with these oils. Okay, so who do you know that needs oils? Some people, when they make this list, some people call it like a hundreds list or a brainstorming list or whatever it is. Some people say, write down everybody you know. Okay. And so I do kind of align with that and say like, yes, don't judge anybody before you put their name on that list, right? Don't judge anybody. If you think like, oh, the girl that sells me my veggies, she could probably use oils, but she can't afford it. She can't afford it or whatever. Or this girl, oh, it'd be amazing to get her oils, but she loves her perfume and I don't think she'd believe in oils. Right? It's just like that's just random things, but don't judge the people, okay? Because if my enroller would have judged me and said, oh, like she's a single mom, she's natural health minded, yeah, but she has no money. Like, what am I going to do with her? She can't even get oil. She just wants them, she probably just asked them for free. Something like that. If someone would have said that to me or not allowed me to get my own oils first, where the hell would my life be? right? And so little sneak peek here, like little secret, not so secret, is I actually didn't buy my first starter package. Okay, I didn't have money then. I didn't have anything to my name. My son, I was a single mom with no support, like you guys know, and my friend who enrolled me bought my starter package for me. Okay, because she saw that I needed them. She saw the potential in me, and she was one of my really good friends. She bought it for me. I paid her back when I made the money for that kit, right? I paid her back. So do not judge anybody. Everybody needs these oils. It's just a matter of time. Okay, you put them on the list, and nothing more than put them on the list. And imagine you're planting your garden. You're putting them on the list, right? And what you're doing is maybe even, especially when you're first starting, you're thinking of like, how can I connect with this person, right? Are they on social media? Are they local to me? Can I ask them to go for, come play at the park with the kids? Or how can I connect with this person? Should I make like a networking group? Should I get a kids play group together? Where do they hang out? How can I run into them? Something like that, right? Or if they're virtually, connect with them, go on their profile, look at their things, kind of catch up with their life, and comment on some of their photos, and do that. For, online connection takes time. It takes time, okay? And so it's a consistent effort. You need to be, maybe it's every couple days you're going in, and like we talked about before, maybe you choose like 5 people you want to focus on for this week, right? 5 people virtually that you're going to nurture and connect with this week. And so you're really going to connect with them. The first day, maybe you're just commenting on their stuff and just getting to know them again. And then maybe you're like, comment in or message them directly and say like, I didn't know you had a second baby. That's amazing. Like, how's motherhood with 2? Whatever it is, right? Like connecting in, where are you these days? Like, how's it going? And then eventually it will turn into a conversation. But what you're doing there is you're building the trust, right? We're going to talk all about that next week when we're talking about inviting. Okay. And so what I want you to do is write out that list, plant the garden, like literally plant the garden energetically. And you know what will happen is these people will start to contact you, especially if you have a consistent online presence, whether you are just sharing your lifestyle, tips and tricks, something that is coming from your heart though, right? Nothing too, generic or like someone else's scripting and things like that. That for me, that doesn't really fully resonate. But if you're using that for education on your business page, you do what feels good to you, okay? But maybe they'll reach out to you. Maybe you'll literally run into them on the street. It's crazy what happens, okay? But plant those seeds. This is like your garden list, okay? And ideally, you're getting close to 100 people on that list. And then what you're going to commit to from here on is you're actually going to commit to adding somebody new to that list almost every single day. If you can every single day, that's amazing, right? Ideally, what you're doing is you're making friends every day. Put yourself in situations where you're making new friends. Okay, so that's another thing that's on our call to action list for today and for this week, is to commit to finding community events to attend, maybe even consistently attend. If there's some sort of like, whether it be a farmer's market or an actual networking event or a play group or whatever it is, a coffee time, what are those like paint and wine nights? Like whatever it is, like go on your community Facebook page and find some community events to attend. Maybe that's yoga classes, like whatever suits you. That doesn't have to be something paid, right? But go to the things, and don't just go one time, go every time if you can, right? And connect with the people there, make friends with the people there. Okay, and so of course you've got your samples with you in case something comes up, right? Ideally, you're carrying your own little keychain, your own little doTERRA keychain, and you have your little, maybe you have like the little 1 ml drams in there, and you have your 15 drops in there. So carry your most sampled oils with you, which we're going to talk about next week, and just build relationships. Networking is the key to success in this business. You always need to be putting yourself in situations where you're meeting new people. So if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I don't know if I like meeting new people all the time, That's okay, that's cool. But I do, unless you have a big following and a big influence right now, and a lot of people that love you, trust you, know you, you need to get over that if you want to be moving forward at a quicker pace in your business. Okay. And so some of you on here, totally, me too, Joni. I'm all for it. Down to meet new friends every single day. Some of you here have an advantage. Okay. And this advantage is that you work with public. Okay, so maybe you work at a cafe. I even thought in the beginning, I was like, maybe I should get like a part-time job at a cafe just so I can get in front of more people, right? And so it's not a bad idea, to be honest. Like there's even an organic shop here. I was like, man, if I could get like one day at that organic shop, even though I'd be getting paid $2 an hour, I'd go in there and I would talk to every single person that walks through that door and they would be coming to my next workshop, right? So think a little bit like that too. So some of you, maybe you're a massage therapist, you're putting oils on bodies every single day, right? Maybe you are a therapist, right? And so maybe you're someone who's a psychologist, maybe you are a yoga instructor, whatever it is, incorporate oils into what you're offering, okay? So Joan says, I don't know how to bring doTERRA into the conversation. That's because in my opinion, it's premature. It's premature. And so what I do is I focus on using my oils. I always smell people, like even when I just maybe not when I just meet them, but a little bit, once they know me a little bit, they are like, oh man, you smell so good. You know, what is that? And I'm like, oh, it's my essential oils, probably. Perks of sometimes if they know me and they know I build a doTERRA business, I'm like, perks of the business, you know, perks of the trade. I always smell amazing. But so I use my oils, right? But I just treat them as a friend because that's all it is. Someday they're going to get oils, right? They are, because they need oils, because everybody needs healthcare. Yes or yes, right? It's just a matter of time. Some of them are going to join me in business eventually too. It's just staying open and curious and knowing that that's going to happen, right? It's going to happen, just a matter of time. And I feel like that kind of like standoff energy of that, like, I'm just back here when you need me, that is attractive more than someone who is like trying to bring doTERRA into the conversation, because there's always like this dark cloud. Okay, I used to do that. And I used to do that, but I've had so many people say, I really appreciate your style of business. Okay, and it's more attractive for people that want to join me because they see that I'm not selling oils. I'm just living my lifestyle, right? And so with a social media presence as well, sometimes what happens is, say, even with the Nature Buddies group. So I was talking with Patty before. This leads right into what I wanted to talk about next, is effective networking and creative networking. I started a little weekly Nature Buddies get together. So it's a play group. It's obviously free. It's just an opportunity for nature or natural health minded families to come together and play on the beach. Okay, and so I've added them. I've said, come join my group chat so that you know the actual location. And it's an awesome way to meet more families. I live in a very transient place. There's lots of families coming in and moving out. And so this is a way that I can just meet more people, right? And so if they say, come through my WhatsApp group, I will once in a while put like stories in my status on WhatsApp, just about like an upcoming, what's it called? Like a workshop, an in-person workshop, or even a virtual one. If you have lots of people that are connected to you virtually through WhatsApp or on Instagram or wherever you're connecting with your people, right? But put the stuff that you do in your stories and put it out there to the public, right? But not advertising like promotions all the time. Yes, you need to do promotions just to store them into your highlights on Instagram or Facebook, but have them like invitations to learn or fun things that you're learning, right? Did you know that there's 70 lemons in a 15 ml bottle of essential oil? Just something like random stuff like that. Okay, or testimonials are also huge, right? And so coming back in, like, how do I bring doTERRA into the conversation is, it just comes, right? Eventually it comes. And so I also have a Costa Rica WhatsApp group chat for doTERRA education. And it's for my enrolled and not enrolled people in Costa Rica. Okay, so that would be something worth checking out there, Joni, because or even like making your own eventually, right? Because it's an education platform where you can share your workshops. You can just create more of a community. At the end of the day, that's what we're doing. If we come at this business of selling and literally that like separated feeling of like, I don't know, like separation, it's never going to work, right? Community is so attractive, even more now. And so even with your customers, you got to like bring them back in together. And so ideally, I talked about, we're moving at the end of this month again, by the way. But I talked with Andy, like we love getting people together. We love hosting at our house. We love whatever it is. So what I'd love to do is once a month, I have like a doTERRA community dinner where we have a potluck dinner at my house. Everyone who's connected to me can come. You bring something to share. If you have any friends who would love to come join us, bring them along, because I love making new friends, right? And so that's something that is a really good idea to do, I think, especially with your local customers. And if you have local partners, bring them all in, gather the people as much as you can. And then maybe at that dinner, I don't have anything really doTERRA out except for Andy's the primary cook in our house, and he cooks with oils all the time. So we would for sure 1000% have some of our dishes with oils. Right. And so we can bring up that conversation, have the oil out there beside it for them to smell, maybe make a drink with lavender lemonade or something like that, have it incorporated in, and that's it. If someone asks more, I invite them to my next workshop. A class does not happen there, right? I always have workshops now, especially now that we're way more open now. I have workshops on the books all the time, virtually and in person, to invite them to. Okay. And so, what was I going to say? Yeah, besides that, another thing you can do is when people do come to workshops, this is kind of a little bit deeper. We're going to get more into this in a couple of weeks, but you can, just to appreciate your customers, maybe you're doing like a DIY, and the DIY cost is $20, because half of the cost, for example, I did a DIY a couple, like maybe last week, and we made bug spray. And then the girls at the place where I held the workshop, she's actually an amazing like gourmet chef. And so she made a little like appy or an appetizer and like this awesome drink for us. And so that was included in the cost. And so I split it down the middle, half went to her, half went to me for my supplies. And it was amazing. It was a great time. But if I have, what I do is I say, if anyone already has their oils with me and wants to attend the workshops, you pay half if you bring someone that's new to doTERRA with you. Okay. And so this is like, this is the way to move and to bring more people into the circle. And then those people that come to the class, even if they don't enroll, I have their email because they did my giveaway. And then I've connected with them. Maybe they're in my WhatsApp group chat now. I ask everyone, do you want to join my WhatsApp group chat to learn about future education and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so before we head off, I'm going to share one more thing that I meant to share before, is teaching supplies. Oops, just a quick run through, because we're going to go through this in the future on our third week. Yeah, exactly, the giveaway. Let me show you what I mean. And so I'm going to, just another thing to potentially prepare you guys. This is how I do it. I've done it like this for a couple of years, and I like it because it limits the waste. Like, I don't like printing off things every week, and like everyone's not even taking, like, who actually looks at something that they took from a workshop again, unless it's like super, super interesting. But anyway, so I have a little binder thing, and what I take to a class, which I'm going to share with you in more depth on the third week when we talk about presenting. I have a just so you guys can order the things, is what I'm sharing this right now. I have a product guide, right? You can get those to your back office for pretty cheap, your online shop, whatever you want to call it. In here, I have some stickers, because for samples at the class and things like that, if we're making a DIY, I don't tend to have, like for the bug spray, I didn't have fancy labels. I wish I did, but I don't. And so on their bottle that they made their bug spray, I just got them to put their little circle stickers on here. And then you can like write on the stickers, like if you had 5 drops of TerraShield, or, it'd be more like 35 drops, You can put a little 35 on the sticker, something like that, right? Especially if they get their own oils and they want to remake the thing in the future. So I have those. And then I have draw slips. Okay. And so these are in Bailey King's. I used hers this time. They're amazing. I will drop them in with draw slips. Okay. I'll drop them into the group, into this unit or guide. And so on these draw slips, it says, like, I'll show you how you kind of incorporate this into the class. It has their name, phone number, email address, and then it has 3 check marks here. First one, I'd like more information about how to get oils, how to get my own oils. Okay, I would actually add on, like, add a discount or at 25% off. Love to have that on there. But anyway, there's that one. It says yes, no, or maybe. And so when you're going through this, actually, I'll just give you a little quick rundown, is like you teach the class, which we're going to teach you all about how to do it. And then before you transition into the 3 ways to buy your oils, you actually say, okay, guys, we're going to do a giveaway. Okay. And so you pass out all the things and you literally stand there and hold this up and say, fill in your name, your phone number if you want to be on my WhatsApp group, email address if you want to be on my email list. And then the first thing here says, I'd like to get more information on getting my own oils. You can even write at 25% off on there or something. You can check yes, no, or maybe. I think most of you here want to get your own oils, so you can check that one. And the second one, I'd like more information about hosting my own oil class. So for hosting, this is really sweet. And you show them what you have for a host for there. Okay, so Bailey King does the whole giveaway bag or whatever. And so you can have just one specific thing that's specific to whatever you'd like. Okay, we're going to go into more information on this later. And so I'd like more information about hosting my own oil class. Look at like the awesome things on your own market, like the special offers in doTERRA in your online shop. In Mexico, they probably have some cool things too. Here in Costa Rica, I'll just show you. We have these like reusable shopping bags. Okay, so they're actually really beautiful. But this is what I use for hosting. So I'm like, if you want to host the class, I'm going to give you one of these bags and I'm going to come and teach you and your friends any topic that you want. So if you want to do a fun DIY, let's talk about that. If you want to host, check yes on that little thing there. And you will be able to take your bag with you today. Okay. And so as we get into week 3 here, we're going to really hone in on how to teach a class. We will go through all the logistics, but the idea is that you are booking at least one class from every class, right? To keep the ball rolling, continually getting in front of more people, not forgetting to connect with them after, so that they're on your list. And the last one is talking about the business. I'd like more information about the business compensation plan and business opportunity. And so, you know, you can say, if you've been watching me and you're wondering if you can do this, because you've already shared your story, they know a little bit about you, they know that the business is something that you're so passionate about, you can actually get them to check that box. And then you go through it. You go through it really fast after you close the class and you connect with each of them. Okay, you want to host a class? Awesome. Here you go. You're ready to get your oils. Okay, so here's this form, and here's your welcome package. Awesome. Things like that. And then the business opportunity, book to go for coffee the following day together. Is what I would do, number 1. Okay, so all of this will go into more detail. Okay, if you want to jump ahead, like I said, go into the daily mentor calls. But this is specifically talking about in-person classes right now. Okay, and so this is something else I have is this laminated. This is kind of like a piece of information that I give everybody when they are sitting at my class. Okay, so this is called the Natural Solutions. You can Google this. I'm pretty sure this is in the class in a box. If you have some, you can just take those and laminate them. I love laminating because I like to reduce waste, and everybody has a phone. They can just take a photo if they want to take it home with them, right? So I have these, I have them in Spanish as well. And then I have so that I'm telling you this just so that you can prepare and get them printed if you need to. Get them laminated if you're ready to teach. Get ready. Honestly, if you're someone who wants to make it to Elite and you want to focus on in-person building and you feel like you could get some people together locally to you, then I would suggest doing this for sure. Okay. So this is also the starter collections. I only did one page. I need to update this because Costa Rica just changed a bunch. But yeah, I have that. I will have a couple of these so that people can pass them around and really take their time to look at them. And when I'm teaching on the kits too, and the 3 ways to purchase doTERRA, I'm actually like this, like pointing at them and explaining my 2 favorites. Okay, and then another thing I have is a price list, all laminated. Okay, so it's another thing that I'd have. And then other than that, I would print off some paper enrollment forms so that people that don't like to use a computer, or it's so much easier if you just get them to fill it in right then and there. If you have a tablet or an iPad that you can take with you, do that and get them, set them up on your website and then get them to fill in their information there to do it virtually. You do need their credit card though. And some people, I'm like, at this point, hopefully they trust me. But if they didn't know me before, they might not be comfortable with giving me their credit card information. But I do say, this is only for my use. I will burn this right after I enter this into the computer. It's safe with me. Okay. And so that's the gist. I have also some blank paper because when I give people the laminated thing, if they like to take notes, I give them a piece of blank paper and a pen. Okay. Any questions on that? And again, we're going to go into the depth of teaching and all of that good stuff in a couple weeks. But if you want to jump ahead, go into the daily mentor calls. I will say that the daily mentor calls, she focuses on in person. Okay. And so we're actually going to do a online aspect to this as well, which I'm going to close up with just giving you guys, those of you that want to focus on in-person build or online building, and you want to get started now with something. Okay. If you want to do both, get your supplies gathered and then do this as well. Okay. What you're going to do for this week is you're going to think of what your ideal avatar or client or business partner wants to have their eyeballs on. What do they want to see? Okay. So you're going to create your freebie, some sort of freebie that will speak directly to them because you want them on your email list. Okay. So number one, make something like an easy ebook. Don't make it too complicated. What's your niche? What are you good at? What do you love? Create that ebook. Okay. I would say an ebook. If you want to create something else and you feel like, you have some other experience with email marketing and that sort of thing, do that. Okay. If you want to do like a little video, maybe it's like if you're a yoga teacher or something, you could have like a little free 15-minute high value, a little video on yoga and the specific, like the benefits of yoga, something like that. Okay. And then you would start with, you would say, I would highly suggest looking into essential oils. In the ebook, it's a little bit more incognito, I guess, when you're offering and you're adding oils into that or doTERRA into the ebook. It's a little bit more incognito, but on a live video, you're like straight up saying like, start with your balance oil, whatever you want to do. But I want you guys to create your freebie this week. Okay. And so if you need some guidance on that, go back to the Elite Machine group. I have it in the guides where I have that in-depth training that we did a couple weeks ago on email marketing, creating your freebie, linking it right to your Flowdesk account. MailChimp and I don't have a good friendship, so I couldn't do it on there, but I'm sure there's so many other free platforms that you could use, okay, to link in through your email platform, through your email marketing, okay? And so keeping in mind that everything you do for your business is a write-off, okay? That's a big, big benefit of having a doTERRA like business and this business model is that we can write off everything. Okay. So any of your sample supplies at all, any of your printing, even if it's only a few dollars, I would keep that receipt, get a big Ziploc bag or whatever you need, put it in there. Even better, what I do, I'm not so diligent on it right now because a lot of my stuff is virtual. Yeah, I'll answer that in one sec. What I should do and I used to do is you have those Ziploc bags, you write on there, September 2021, okay? And then everything goes into that bag. If you go for coffee, Joan's at a cafe and she's eating lunch while she's on this webinar or this training, she's gonna she's gonna put that receipt right in that September bag, right? So that you are writing everything off. Maybe if you even want to write on the back of that receipt, right? You know, business webinar, just so you remember and you're like, what the hell, I'm trying to, like, in case your accountant is like, you can't write off everything, you can be like, yeah, I was actually on a call then. Okay, so just keep track. If you're virtual and you use a bank card for everything and you don't pay cash, that's totally fine too. There's an app called Wave. That's a good one. You can actually screenshot like receipts if you're someone who prefers to keep your receipts virtually or digitally, and then you can actually sort them into different accounts and folders and things to keep it all organized. I have my assistant do those things. And so just keep it organized. Write off everything. You can write off a portion of your rent. You can write off a portion of your internet bill, your cell phone, depending on your accountant. Like mine is like, yeah, 100% of your phone. Lots of things. Okay, if you're traveling, how can you make this a business trip is a question, right? How can you, and you're like, everywhere I go is a business trip because I'm always sharing oils everywhere. Okay, so really truly maximize on that, because otherwise, if you don't, you're going to be paying taxes at the end of the year. And we don't want that, because doTERRA does not take taxes off of our stuff. We are essentially self-employed through doTERRA. That makes sense. Okay, do I file tax in Canada? Yes. You're going to file tax wherever your account is open, right? You have a Canadian account, Joni, so do I, even though we live in other countries. And I always suggest, like, people that do enroll here in Costa Rica, they have their home account, right? Even if they're a resident, unless they want to go into the tax thing in Costa Rica here. I do have a really awesome accountant in Canada. He's based in the West Coast. It's like $120 a year for like small business personal. It's amazing unless you're incorporated, but you usually don't incorporate until you're making around 8,000 to 10,000 a month, I'd say. Okay, so he's awesome. Okay, that was a little bit more information than I wanted to give today, but that's okay, you guys. If you're brand new here and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, that's okay. Okay, take it from the beginning. Get your supplies together for your samples, your welcome packages, print off your things, laminate your things, just prepare, okay? And then I want you to do those lists like I told you, your customer, your business partner. I want you to start planting your garden on those pieces of paper. Get to 100 people, 100 new seeds in that garden today, right? Not today, maybe this week, if you can, and always add more people on. Always add more people on. And so get yourself to networking events, commit to some new fun activities, go out of the house, meet new people, meet new friends, and make sure that you like fully commit yourself, right? If you want to reach elite through this program, commit to doing these things and they will set you up for more success. Okay. Okay. I think that's all I wanted to share today, you guys. I'm going to be adding more content this week into the elite group. Make sure you check back through the guides. And we're talking next week on inviting. Okay, so we're going to talk about inviting, bringing people in, connecting more. So ideally this week, you're starting to connect with those people, starting the conversations virtually with people. And again, choose 5 people for the week, 10 people for the week, whatever you want to do. And then next week, we're going to start to talk about how we can invite people in. Okay, and so it's all about building connections and networking. If you fail to do that part, you're not going to have anybody that's ready to invite. Okay, we're going to talk about inviting. We're going to talk about follow-up and sampling properly. Okay, have an awesome week, you guys. Continue those conversations, and this is going to make everything a lot more streamlined going forward. Okay, thanks for being on live with me. Have an awesome day. We'll see you soon. Wednesday night at 6 p.m. is our Mindset Mastermind this week. Okay. See you later. Oh, awesome. You got a notebook. Sweet.